Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Football is a Religion. Um, with regards to some action, we did witness some action in the DStv Premiership, right? So we witnessed a game at the Kaizer Stadium between AmaZulu and Swallows FC, right? And we also witnessed a Cape derby between Cape Town City as well as Stellenbosch FC at the DHL Stadium, the Cape Town Stadium in down in the south in Cape Town. And then we also witnessed a game in Johannesburg between Kaizer Chiefs as well as Abafana Base 10, the Golden Arrows, take place at the FNB Stadium. So the game that we're actually going to start with is the fact that it was three games that at least had goals in it. Each game had goals, each game there was a bit of action, but it was not really action packed, because the one game that I can say I was really impressed by was the Cape derby between Cape Town City as well as Stellenbosch FC, because that was a derby, and that was a game that was, you could see the intensity was high. There was so much end-to-end stuff. You could see that both teams wanted to actually claim all the bragging rights, and these are two informed teams that are really fighting for second position, that are fighting for that CAF Champions League spot. We all know that Sundowns are the runaway leaders in the DStv Premiership this season. So basically, it's a matter of which team can actually finish in second place and actually join Mamelodi Sundowns in terms of partaking in the CAF Champions League of next season. So I want us to start with the clash between Usutu as well as the Dube Bears at the Kaizer Stadium in Umlazi, Durban last night, and that game resulting in a 1-1 draw between both sides. Both sides came into this game knowing that 3 points is very important, 3 points is very crucial for them. So with that being said, is that both teams haven't had the best of runs, so far. Both teams have had an up and down season, an inconsistent run of results. Despite the fact that both teams often tend to show promise at the beginning of the season, and then when it gets to the crucial part of the season where they need to continue to show that consistency, continue to build from that momentum that they started with, they just continue just to slack a bit. They continue just to, take their foot off the pedal. And that's what we have seen with AmaZulu and Swallows, over the past few seasons. Because these are teams that actually do often tend to show so much promise, but they don't live up to those expectations and they don't live up to the promise, So both the goals, AmaZulu did take the lead in the 73rd minute thanks to the Namibian left back, Rian Hanamub. That was basically his first goal for Usutu. And in 2 seasons, right? Remember, he did join them in the 2022-2023 season, so that was his first goal, since joining them. And the equalizer that was scored for Swallows, just killed off the momentum of Usutu at home. Just breaking Usutu hearts was the goal from former Orlando Pirates and Moroka FC, midfielder Augustine Matlonoko, scoring in the 92nd minute of the game, to actually at least give Moroka Swallows a point away from home. So I want us to get straight into this particular match and what this result means for both teams. So, yes, Augustine Matlonoko, that was his second appearance for Moroka Swallows, his second league appearance for Swallows after signing from ABC Motsepe League outfit, La Masia. And what a way to actually make an impact, what a way to actually make your mark, scoring an important equalizer, at the dying minutes of the game. And remember, this is the man who became the youngest player in the history of Orlando Pirates to actually make his debut at the age of 16 years old, 52 days, breaking the record that was set by current Burnley striker Lyle Foster. And as for AmaZulu are yet to actually secure maximum points in the league in 2024. They've now drawn twice and they've also lost one game. And AmaZulu have only secured 4 victories in 10 league home games. So they've played 10 home league games, right? And they've only secured 4 victories, which is a very bad record to set at home, because your home record really needs to be on point if you are to stand a chance of actually competing amongst the best in terms of actually wanting to finish in the top 8. And Swallows, as for Moroka Swallows, their opponents, the Dube Bears, they're basically now winless in 8 league games as they remained in 13th place, just like 8 points above 15th place Richards Bay FC, right, on 21 points, and Richards Bay FC find themselves on 13 points. So Yeah, man, there has been that particular season for the Dubai Birds. And remember, in this particular instance, we are basically excluding the games that they didn't play. So they are winners in 8 games. You understand that they have played, excluding the ones that they didn't play that were, however, forfeited for the reasons of the fact that, players were not getting paid, players went on a strike, and there were games that had to be forfeited. So, including that one against Mamelodi Sundowns at Loftus Versfeld last year. So, we're not counting those ones. And both teams, if you look at how they came into this game, right? Swallows actually named an unchanged lineup, from that team that actually secured a goalless draw in the Soweto derby against Kaizer Chiefs on Saturday evening at the FNB Stadium, right? And as for Usutu actually made 3 changes from the team that was heavily defeated by Mamelodi Sundowns at Loftus Versfeld, over a week ago. We saw Hendrik Ekstien, Celine Junior Dion, as well as it was Hendrik Ekstien, Celine Junior Dion, as well as Kalimpilo Ngema, right? They're the ones that actually came in. They were the changes that actually coming in for the players, the likes of Augustine Quim, coming in for, as well as Lungelo Mbanjwa, as well as Augustine Malenga. Yeah, those are the players that actually made way, you understand, for these 3 changes. So if you look at the way AmaZulu actually approached this game, both teams really were very sloppy for most parts of the game, if I'm to be honest. Yes, we did see some few half chances, and we did see some individual brilliance, especially through Gabadino Mango, forcing a save out of Mzimela, dribbling his way past 2 AmaZulu defenders, and then forcing a shot with his left foot to actually create a good save out of Mzimela in the AmaZulu goal. We did also see Extin, making quite a good impact for Usutu in the first half. We saw his long range effort was actually saved by Daniel Akpe. It was a comfortable save for the Nigerian goalkeeper in the Swallows goal. Basically, that was the only real sort of action that we did see in the first 45 minutes at the King Zwelithini Stadium. Apart from that, we didn't really see much. We just saw both teams just creating those half chances and actually not capitalizing on them. Both teams really giving away possession unnecessarily. So there was no team that you could actually say was commanding that midfield, or any team that managed to actually establish any dominance, right? Despite the fact that, yes, we did see AmaZulu stringing along some few passes together, but did not really create any meaningful, threat with the little ball possession that they had, including likewise with Moroka Swallows. Second half was basically more or less the same, up until we saw some few half chances once again, and as we all assumed that this game was actually heading for another goalless draw. Yes, great run down the right hand side, by former Orlando Pirates right back Wade Euster, making a great run, crossing the ball into the box. And again, it goes back to the fact that Swallows, they defended that ball very poorly, failing to clear their lines. And it was a matter of the ball just fell to Rian Hanemoop, who was able just to create a turn. He turned, it was a wonderful turn, and fired a shot with his right foot. That was basically a goal of a striker. That was like striker's instinct, I understand, from the Namibian left back. Great goal from him. That's how you open your account for Usutu. And, just as you thought that now AmaZulu have now secured all 3 points with 17 minutes remaining, till, the regulation time. But, however, we did see Augustine Matlonoko, actually getting the decisive goal, in the 93rd minute of the game to actually give the Dubai Birds a much needed, point away from home. And from this particular moment in time, yes, the draw doesn't really do much for both teams, but it's actually a fair result because it actually, gives them some momentum going into the next few games in terms of them really having to save their season. If AmaZulu want to qualify for the top 8 next season, they really need to get all those points. And Swallows, they just need to avoid relegation. You understand? And the best way for them to avoid the relegation is for them to accumulate as much points as they can. All right. Next up was the Cape Derby. Right, the much anticipated derby between Cape Town City as well as Stellenbosch FC at the DHL Stadium, or otherwise known as the Cape Town Stadium, right? And Stellenbosch have done a double over Cape Town City, with the same scoreline, 1-0. Remember, they won. Stellenbosch did defeat Cape Town City, at the David Craven Stadium, in Stellenbosch, on the 29th of December 2023, last year. And they've recorded a double over their bitter crosstown rivals, Cape Town City, by the same scoreline, right? So this time, it was basically an evenly, poised game, It was very evenly poised between both sides, right? Remember now, for the fact that Stellenbosch have now won this game by a goal to nil, right? This now means that the Stellies now move into second, position, level on points with Cape Town City. Although Stellenbosch FC now have got a better head-to-head record compared to, their opponents, Cape Town City. And they've now recorded their first league win in 2024. And now that means they remain unbeaten in 10 league games. You understand? So their last defeat in the league came, at the hands of Mamelodi Sundowns, dating back to the 11th of September 2023. And both teams had a point to prove. Both teams have a goal. Both teams want to play in Champions League football next season. So it's a matter of which team will finish in second place. This is a derby which everybody should have anticipated, because it's based on, there's so much more to play for. There's so much to look forward to compared to the Soweto derby. Yes, the Soweto derby historically, yeah, it is the biggest derby, on the African continent, to say the least. But in terms of when you look at the Soweto derby, which will be taking place again on the 9th of March on Saturday, right? There's not much to really look forward to. Yes, the rivalry based on the history and based on how fierce it used to be, back in the olden days, there's not really much of excitement to look forward to there. But of course, due to the fact that obviously the bulk majority of the South African population are divided between Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. Some, are on the side of Mamelodi Sundowns. So that's why it's still anticipated. But this was the derby that was supposed to be more anticipated, because you could see there's lots at stake between these two sides. I'm referring to Cape Town City as well as Stellenbosch FC, right? And again, you look at the fact that Cape Town City made 4 changes coming into this game, and then Stellenbosch FC made 3 changes coming into this game. We saw Stellenbosch FC were without the suspended Ishmael Oliver Toure, who was given his marching orders in the previous game in that 1-1 draw against Chippa United at home, right? So there was a lot to play for in this particular encounter, right? And I can literally say to you, right, that it was an incredible game to actually watch. You understand? Because there was so much end-to-end stuff. Both keepers were actually forced to work. Both keepers were required to actually make some telling saves to actually keep their sides well in contention of winning this game, right? And we actually saw Khanyisa Mayo, who has actually, rediscovered himself this season. He had one of the best chances of the first half. He just headed wide. He did also have another opportunity which was saved by the goalkeeper, Oscarin Masuluke. And we also saw Hudeman having a couple of chances. Yes, just missing the target by inches. We also saw on the side of Stellenbosch, FC, we saw Reyners having his free kick, his set piece just going narrowly wide. Van Heerden, the same thing. Copido, also having his free kick going narrowly wide. And it was that type of game, where you could see, there will be goals to be scored, right? It was just a matter of which team is going to capitalize on their chances. And yes, it just needed that one solitary goal. And that was actually clever play from Stellenbosch FC, to say the least. Again, Darren Keat, his clearance, against the run of play. Unfortunately for the Cape Town City man, he lost possession in the opposition half, and Stellenbosch, that's exactly what they're good at. They got on that transition. They got at counter-attacking football, and that's exactly what we have seen from them throughout the season. That's exactly what has had to make them a fierce competitor in this, season's, DStv Premiership. And this is we're talking about the very same side that actually won the Carling Knockout Cup not so long ago. This is the side that was even knocked out in the MTN 8, semi-final just via the goal difference. So they've actually proven to us that they are a competitive side and they play according to their strength. And that's how the goal came. The goal came according to the way Stellenbosch FC played. They played according to their strength, which was transition football. Going straight on the quick transition, winning possession back, Antonio van Wyk finding himself in space. Why I mean to imply that was actually clever play from Antonio van Wyk was the fact that he could spot that Reyners was in an offside position. Yes, Ikram Reyners was the only man who was in space. He was the only target at that particular moment in time when he had the ball whilst he was in possession. But then Ikram Reyners was in an offside position. He did not time his run. But luckily, he was able to spot Devin Titus, who was making that run just, you understand, on time, timing his run to perfection. And great pick out from Antonio van Wyk. He did ever so well to actually pick up, Devin Titus. That was just some clever play, from the Stellies. Clever play from them. And, they deserve to actually get that goal. You understand? Just against the run of play, on the transition, on the counter, goal. You understand? Simple goal. And that's exactly how you play football. You understand? Just be clever. Be, intentional. Always look out for your man. Don't rush the play. And that's how you catch your opposition. You catch them on the transition. Yes, Cape Town City, had the lion's share of possession. But remember, that's the difference between these two sides. Cape Town City, they are a ball-playing team. They like to keep the ball a lot, right? As for Stellenbosch FC, they like to play on the transition. That's the difference between these two Cape sides. And that's how the game was actually won, based on the transition, right? And we also saw in the second half more of the same. We just saw more of the same. Mayo could have gotten an equalizer had he just taken an extra touch, to actually give himself a chance to actually go one-on-one, get closer to the goal. Maybe he could have secured an equalizer. And on the rebound, he was just unlucky not to put that ball in the back of the net. So it was just not his day. It was not a perfect day for Kaizer Mayo. And we also did see, Cupido also having a chance to actually draw at the Citizens level. Tamim Kizer's header also just went wide. And we also saw Reyners, Anisat Ura. What a brilliant player he is. Remember, he was the one who scored the winning goal in the reverse fixture between these two sides, right, in December. So Anisat Ura was on sublime form last night, just taking on the defenders, causing so much problems, causing havoc in that Cape Town City defense. He was just a thorn in the side for Cape Town City. As he was able to run past the byline, dribble past like 3 players, he has this ability to actually hold up play, use his pace, use his strength, and that's exactly what he does. He's so skillful, and he's able to keep the ball at his feet. You understand? He did so well to actually pick up, Ikram Reyners. However, for the Stelly striker, Ikram Reyners, too many touches. I think he should have looked up for a man. Yes, give credit to the Cape Town City defense for actually closing him down, preventing him from taking an early shot. But yes, Ikram Reyners, what he should have done, he should have looked for other teammates because there were options in the box, right? Yes, he was in space, but he should have picked up an option because there was an option to actually play. But however, he did not see that, and too many touches, and then the chance was gone. But luckily, there was a shot from range. Yes, it was saved comfortably by Darren Keat, and then Anisat Ura wanted to get his second goal against Cape Town City in as many games. He's the one who scored the winning goal in the reverse fixture. He wanted to score again against, the Citizens, wanting to haunt them once again. But give credit, that was just great goalkeeping from, Darren Keat, the experienced Darren Keat. Wonderful goalkeeping from him. And I guess it was just one of those games where it was a matter of which team capitalized on their chances, right? However, Cape Town City, they have themselves to blame for actually losing this game, for not taking their chances, because they had so many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. And I'm sure Kaizer Mayo will be upset with himself for not putting the ball in the back of the net. But yes, it does happen to the best of players. Yes, it will be a learning curve for them. Yes, hopefully they will bounce back as they travel to Durban, as they travel to Pietermaritzburg to take on Royal AM at the Herigwala Stadium in their next matchup. So it happens. You understand? Give credit to Stellenbosch FC. Congratulations once again to them. Congratulations to Devin Titus. What a great play he has been. Solid, in that attacking, final third for Stellenbosch. Great with that combination with Antonio van Veek, as well as, Anisad Ora and Reyners up front, of course, that is just a menace. You understand? Much needed 3 points for them. Straight to FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, where Kaizer Chiefs took on Abafana Base 10, the Golden Arrows. Score resulting in a 1-0 victory for the AmaZulu, securing their first 3 points of this year of 2024. And basically, Chiefs have scored their first goal after, how can I put this, just after 3 matches. Very disappointing from Kaizer Chiefs, you understand. They haven't had the best of, seasons, and they've been very inconsistent. I can say for a fact that, fine, they are 7 games unbeaten currently with this victory over Arrows, but I'm definitely not really convinced at all. Even their performance yesterday against Golden Arrows was really unconvincing. Yes, in the first half, they really played well. They did well. Great strike from Wandile Duba. What a wonderful strike that was, curling the ball into the back of the net. That was just a cool finish. Wonderful finish from the 19-year-old, striker who came in place for Ranga Chivaviro up front, in the AmaZulu attack. So Kaizer Chiefs, they did make a couple of changes. We did see Christian Saele coming in for Ashley Dupree. We saw Wandile Duba coming in for Ranga Chivaviro. We also saw, in the middle of the park, we saw Sibongiseni Mthethwa coming in for Edson Castillo. And we did see Njabulo Ngobo replacing the suspended Edmilson Dove, who was actually given his marching orders in the Soweto derby against Moroka Swallows at the very same ground. And then we also saw Sviso Hlanti returning to the starting 11, replacing Happy Mashiane at left back. And it was some, decent football being played. At least Kaizer Chiefs managed to play some decent football for a change. Them knocking the ball around, passing the ball around. But it really, yes, you have scored 1 goal, fine. Arrows, they were nowhere near Kaizer Chiefs in the first half. But let's just be honest about the fact that, it doesn't matter if you keep the ball, right? You manage to spread the ball around. But you need to actually make it count. You need to actually score more goals. You understand? Put the ball in the back of the net. Punish your opponents. Because now you're getting to a point in the season where goal difference is very important. That's why it's very important to find the back of the net. It's becoming very critical, right? Because had Kaizer Chiefs at least scored 2 or 3 or 4 goals, they would have been above Orlando Pirates in 5th place. You understand? They would have been above Orlando Pirates. But because they just didn't want to capitalize, there's no that hunger to actually score more goals. There's no that sense of urgency from Kaizer Chiefs. That's exactly what we saw in the game against Moroka Swallows. No sense of urgency whatsoever. You understand? Yes, give credit to them, playing the ball, passing the ball around, keeping possession, but show some urgency in terms of wanting to score more goals, because goal difference matters at the end of the day, in as much as points do matter. You need to have an advantage. Give yourself an advantage in order for you to actually climb above the ladder in terms of, the league standings are concerned. And now going into the derby, now they are level on points with Orlando Pirates in 6th. So basically the 3 points, it does something for them. It does them a huge amount of good, right? Going into that Soweto derby, on Saturday. But if we are to be honest, they should have just scored more goals to actually leapfrog Orlando Pirates in 5th place, and they would have actually had a better goal difference. Wonderful strike once again by Wandile Duba, and the boy is still very young. Give him some time. With some time, he will actually learn from his mistakes. He will actually practice more composure in front of goal, right? And also great performance once again from Pule Modi, against his former club. Great performance. He did so well to win possession back, to actually set up the goal after losing ball possession. That was incredible from Pule Modi. That's what you do as a senior player. You show character, you show hunger to actually win back possession for your team. He did ever so well by doing that, winning ball possession in the midfield, dispossessing, Zwane in that Golden Arrows midfield, setting up Wandile Duba, and what a perfect strike that was. Perfect way. That's his first goal. And just like, he only made just a mere 3 appearances this season. So what a wonderful strike that was. And Mthethwa also had a decent performance, but he was giving away possession a lot of times. He was caught out. And as well as Yusuf Mart, give credit to Yusuf Mart. What a wonderful game he had. Wonderful performance from Yusuf Mart. Creating that connection between defense and attack, winning those second balls, being able to soldier on, giving his team more options up front. And however, I was actually surprised by the inclusion of Keegan Dolly in the starting 11. It just did not make sense to me that, the coach decided to include Keegan Dolly in the starting lineup, because he had a very poor game in that Soweto derby against Moroka Swallows. He was just nowhere to be seen at all. Nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. He was just caught up in no man's land. He did not create any sort of meaningful impact. He did not have any sort of, meaningful, influence in terms of attack, in terms of providing those options up front for Kaizer Chiefs, in terms of creating any meaningful goal-scoring opportunities for them. He was just not in the game. So it came as a shock that he was actually included in the starting 11. But for this particular encounter against Abafana Bestende, it was actually a decent performance, but still not vintage Keegan Dolly at all. Still not really vintage Keegan Dolly. But as for Golden Arrows, now they go 11 games winless. Mabuti Kanyez and his side now go winless in 11 games. And what's actually ironic is that the last time they actually secured maximum points in the DStv Premiership did come against Kaizer Chiefs just over a year ago, just on the 28th of October at the Mpumalanga Stadium in Hammersdale. That was the last time Abafana Bestende were able to secure victory, in the DStv Premiership, and it came against Kaizer Chiefs. And that was actually the first game for Kevin Johnson, handing Kevin Johnson his first defeat, in his first game in charge of the Amakosi. So it was a matter of, Golden Arrows really need to improve. They were even denied a goal, in the second half. That was supposed to be a goal. There was no offside because the ball ricocheted, off Kevin Msimango in that Kaizer Chiefs defense. It ricocheted off him. So it was supposed to be a goal. Arrows were actually robbed the goal. It was supposed to be 1-1. But I guess, Lions, man, they make mistakes. That's why there is a serious intervention for the video assistant referee to be introduced into Premier Soccer League football. But yes, I understand, affordability is a problem, as well as, there's a lot of finances also needed to actually back it up, which I doubt that the Premier Soccer League has. But it's something that the Premier Soccer League board will need to actually, discuss and actually address in the near future, to actually improve the level of the game, to actually improve the level of officiating in our local football, And yes, it is a much needed 3 points for Kaizer Chiefs, but it's not a convincing performance once again from them, And my condolences goes to Sianda Mkonza. My condolences goes to him and his family, man. What a wonderful soul that he was, and he really did serve South African football with so much purpose, man. And may his soul rest in peace. Yeah. And condolences goes to the Mkonza family. And we've lost a giant of South African football. He just passed away recently at the tender age of 44. After it was confirmed that he'll no longer be with us. He did feature for both of these clubs, Kaizer Chiefs as well as Golden Arrows. He did feature for Bafana. So condolences goes to him, man. And he did help Kaizer Chiefs win the league title in the 2002-2003 season. So, what a wonderful asset he has been for South African football, and he'll be dearly missed. Even as an analyst, he made a name for himself. And that's why I say, what we do is very competitive, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take it very lightly. And we've actually lost a giant. We've lost someone very incredible. You understand? My condolences goes to the Mkonza family, and may his soul rest in wonderful peace and eternal peace.
Very miserly at the back. They might not have been scoring goals, but they also haven't been conceding goals. Kaizer Chiefs have been really, really tight at the back. And it comes in a solid hit on it there by Yusuf Mart. Shot from range. Oh, that was a tester. It really had Bruce Puma scrambling there. It was struck with some fury there, Amanda Dlamini.
Yep. This is one area Kaizer Chiefs will have to definitely improve. That second ball, Shanti charges down, but Dlamini just takes it on that volley. Forces Vuma to a brilliant save to his right.
Struck superbly there. Great technique from Ngobego Dlamini. Just a one goal. Been relieved to hear the news about his teammates coming off unscathed in that accident they were involved in. His former teammates at Galaxy. They run from Saile. We expect to see a lot of that sort of thing. He'll take the game to that Arrows defense, so it's a busy time. Lies in wait for Sponelo Tele in the left back area together with his fellow defenders.
Yep.
Good challenge.
Good block.
First corner of the game for Kaizer Chiefs. Going deep, yeah. Oh, was scrambling a little bit there, was Fisom Luana. But they come away with it with Arrows now. They can be so dangerous in these situations. Working it wide. Thinks about the shot. And game here. End-to-end stuff early on. And that's the way we like it, especially. I think that will please the Kaizer Chiefs fans to see the positivity from their side. Modi steals it now. Can you find the gap for a shot? It's Tuba. Why did you get Tuba? What a way to break the duck! What a way to score your first goal for the senior team! What a way to score the first goal of 2024 for Kaizer Chiefs! Take a ball! Young Wandile Duba. What a beauty, Amanda Dlamini.
What a beauty, what a brilliant strike from Duba. Once again, you spoke about that end-to-end stuff. Sibego just pickpocketed at the edge of the box. That turnover once again from Modi. He keeps his line on the shoulder. That's a different dynamic that Duba brings. A mobile striker, picks his spot, and just cushions it to the top corner, beating Mlungwana.
That is a fantastic strike, a goal of the highest quality, and well worth the wait for the Kaizer Chiefs fans, well worth the wait for himself. Wandile Duba up and running and gets Chiefs going there in his third appearance of the season. His 8th appearance overall for the club. He opens his account. It'll be keeping him company. Now, the cut inside. This is looking good. Oh, tried the flick. It didn't come off from Keegan Dolly, but again. Tuba rushed it there. Patience. Just rushed it. Didn't need to do that. Could have looked up with which they are playing. Finding each other with regularity. Yes, Pule Modi. Yeah, I can see what the idea was there, and then the keeper panicking a little bit or didn't read it, and miscommunication with Stolo. Okay. What happens? What goes wrong here, Amanda?
Shitolo hesitates or attempts to clear the ball, and of course that will deceive the goalkeeper who's watching from behind, not too sure where his goals are.
Now, free kick, whipped in here. Solid header away.
His confidence has been really growing, especially with the starts that he's been having. Crucial saves against Moroka Swallows as well over the weekend.
Tetra is dispossessed. There could be problems here now. If Arrows, it's a 3-on-4 situation. Mutizwa pulls it wide.
Once again, a promising attack from Golden Arrows. Tetra just dispossessing that heart of that midfield. Knox Mutizwa fancying his chances, but drags it wide.
Well, you were saying a little earlier how Sofmar has got options to his right. Brings in Quinica. Quinica's crossing! Oh, Dubash was a flag up. It wouldn't have counted. The flag was up on the far side. But again, the young fella there, composure.
Yeah, composure, but once again, just threading on the shoulder there of the defenders of Tele. But the technique maybe in terms of just where they opens up his foot, wanted to go at the volley.
Yeah.
Zibamba comes in to join that front three attack with the likes of Knox Mutizwa.
Yeah, well, yes, that's a very good point that you make about Nduduzo Sbe, a player I like to call Mr. Arrows. Yeah, it's a surprise to see him left on the bench, but they could find an equalizer immediately. Lightning, oh, it won't count. It won't count. I was about to say lightning strikes the same place twice. Chiefs conceded around the same stage of the game. Over. Let's take a look at this. Was this offside? Yeah, the past Mutiso was offside when the ball came to him. So yeah, he should have gone on his own there. He would have been onside. Just a offside flag. Oh my word, the flag has stayed down. Mutiso. Oh man, just the man you want on that in that situation. Given the Tlaka had stayed down. Mr. Given the Tlaka's flag had stayed down. Look at this.
Yeah, Golden Arrows utilizing that height that Lipamba is bringing to that front attack.
Yeah,
Mutiso this time very onside.
Yeah, Van Roy might have been offside, but Mutiso was definitely on the side. Just maybe the ball took an awkward little bobble. Just that touch there. But oh,
Striker.
now it will come to Dupree. His first touch here gets the square ball in. Mlungwana gets done well. For Sfeso Mlungwana.
Immediate involvement from Ashley Dupree. Now we'll get to see those crosses coming in, whether it be on the ground or those aerial duels, just to try and locate a Gonzalez.
They're going to make a change, by the way, that arrows, and that's going to be Ntanti. Could be a chance here! Wow, almost a carbon copy of the goal we saw in the first half from Duba. Ntanti looking to show yourself the game will humble you. Like life itself. That's a nice ball played through here. Could be a chance here for arrows! Great save from Vuma. Well positioned as well to make the save, and that was such a great pass, Nadia, with the outside of the boot, and a wonderful save to deny Libamba, the Zambian.
I think he could have tried to really try and cut.
Shot from range is wide of the target, though. It's also just needs to be brought back into the fold a little bit more, getting more involved. He's promised so much, but losing his way a little. Now, that's a decent ball whipped in there. Just a nice ball driven in low there. And is that a formidable career as a television analyst?
Yeah.
We are 5 minutes away now. Shot! And Bruce Vuma, well positioned, makes a comfortable save there. This man has been busy. Tantazwani.
Yeah, just didn't really connect with it.
Collecting maximum points at this stage. He would go into second spot. Let's go. Look at this. Oh, cross just a fraction late there. What a ball!
Yeah, a great game. Look where he starts his run from deep. Penetrates right in the middle of that defense. Sibiya just can't believe.
And defensively, it's been another solid display from Kaizer Chiefs. Could be a chance here, though. Oh, just as I was saying, it's been a good display. Defensively, they allowed the shot in. Losing side, I think it's Zwane that definitely would fall under that category. So Chiefs have gone 3 matches in all competitions without conceding a goal.
Just how Golden Arrows have applied themselves.
There it is, Tandon Tanzega.